Hey.
And
you can see the riding on the pavement. Young kids, they're growing up in basements. Online, a whole new generation. I'ma make mine, so you better go take it. Always, they need a new replacement. Decentralized, can't contain it. We're changing lives, yeah, upgrading. Call it suicide of the older generation.
What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah? Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live life on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need.
there we go. Had to get my
That's some damn good music. I like that. I don't see how you don't get copyright for that.
It's because it's free copyright.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, that makes sense.
all of his music he makes it. It's all free copyright, which is good. That makes it so I don't get in any more trouble.
Like, hell, I don't even know what music I want.
Yeah, it's actually pretty hard to find free copyrighted music nowadays, especially for YouTube. Hey, everybody. Welcome. We got Autumn Leaf. We got
Hello, Miss Sheila.
Sheila. Yeah. Dana B. Teresa. Huga. Homestead.
I don't even say where you at.
Oh, I scrolled way up the top.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. I can't see it.
There's the
Hello, Miss B. Charming.
oh. Yeah, I'm still waiting for the storm, seeing if it's going to hit or if it's not going to hit. It's awful windy out there, and that's about it.
Mr. Cheddar Pepper. Damn, I already messed up. Mr. Cheddar Pepper. Whew, I'm going to tell you what, that's a tongue twister. Hello, Miss Harvest Mary Moon. We have got clouds that has rolled in, and it's like I told Bushcraft, if I get knocked out, it's on kind of the storm tonight.
Yeah.
I don't know when it's coming, but they said it's coming, and anybody dealing with weather or has dealt with weather, they can walk outside and tell if they're gonna get something or not. And I got that feeling here where I'm at.
Yeah, I tend to. It's life. It's one of those things. I don't go and focus on the weather or anything. The only time I usually do is springtime and look to see when it may frost. And even when they say it's going to frost, sometimes I just don't. I don't do anything because I don't feel that it's going to frost. I can almost feel frost when it's going to happen.
Well, now, answer this right here. Can you smell rain in the air?
Yeah.
Okay, because now you tell people that now, oh, you can't smell rain. You crazy. Bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You can smell rain.
You can look at the trees, and if the trees' leaves are curling up, they're saying, rain, you know.
Yeah. Well, now that's how I used to tell if we're going to get rain. You know, the back of the leaves would be shiny and showing. And it seems like here in the last, 15 years, that ain't always true no more. Great jams.
Hey,
Hello,
Greg
lady.
James. Nice to meet
Lord have
you.
mercy. I hope that's a lady.
Yeah, that's Vineyard Chicks' mom.
Okay.
And
Because
it's kind of
you know
obvious.
me.
Vineyard Chick's dad is the dad.
Because you know me, I got a bad habit of calling a he a she and a she a he, and I
Yeah,
apologize when I do that. That's the reason.
there we go. Get the old bunker going. But yeah, what I wanted to go over tonight is some things we tend to overlook, even preppers and everything. There's things that we just overlook sometimes, and it's always good to get like a hello, wake up type of thing. So it's some of the things that's good to do before it's too late, that it's one of those, man, I wish I would have done that, but yeah, it's too late. And some of these are like daily tasks that you can do to stay up on top of things. And most of us already do this stuff. Like if, for instance, us gardeners, if you go out and like I went and got some cabbage and I notice I'm getting some holes in my leaves of my cabbage. So that means I have a pest out there. So you deal with that, which I'll probably make a video on how I get rid of those. I don't use the chemicals and stuff that they like Seven Dust and stuff like that, because that stuff is very bad. And it really irritates me when I see people using it. That's their business, but they'll be flinging it all over the place, and it's blowing up in their face, and they have it on their hands. They'll put it in their hands and sprinkle it. Just the fact that you put it in your hands, that stuff can go inside the pores of your hands, and you can be affected by that. And even if you read the warning on it, says don't touch it, because your skin can absorb that stuff, and it's very dangerous.
You know, now that's funny, because I've never read the instructions on Seven Dust. I don't use it no more, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But coming up, I've seen Daddy throw his hand in there and pull out handfuls and do it like that. And I always said, well, it didn't hurt him, so let me do it, you know, and I done it.
Yeah, but how much of that has changed over the years? It still says Seven Dust, but how much other chemicals are in that now?
I won't disagree with you on that, because when I was a kid, in order to take a burn out of a cut, my daddy would put my foot in kerosene back then. I wouldn't do that now on account of all the different chemicals that are in it.
I use neem oil, and then with that, I use this stuff right here. It's a wetting agent. What it does is, because neem oil is an oil. So if you spray that on, even if you mix it with water and spray it, you'll get little dots and stuff that can hurt your plants. And Some plants it's very bad for. And if you use this agency or agent, um, it neutralizes to where it mixes good with the water. So when you spray it, it's even spray and it goes away. Oh, sorry.
I just got a pop up for people in North Carolina. I do not know where it's at or anything, but they said there is a huge fire that just broke out in a lithium plant here in North Carolina.
Oh, that's not going to go out very good. Yeah.
No.
And I'll probably be making a video about it tomorrow because like I said, I went out and got cabbage because I had 3 pieces of bacon. I'm like, I don't know if my cabbage is ready yet or not. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll just go. And I snipped one off and brought it in, cleaned it, and noticed I had a lot of bite marks all of a sudden. So it's time to, and I don't have that much, and everything else looks fine. It's just the cabbage. So it's probably a butterfly. The little white butterflies, they lay their eggs, and then I get caterpillars. But like I said, neem oil, it's worked for me in the past, and it's once it goes into the soil, it's it doesn't stick around for ages and stuff.
I hate to say it, but I've never heard of neem oil.
I don't know where it's at actually. I thought it was sitting right here. It's probably all under all this junk I got sitting here.
Oh, your room sounds like mine. My wife, I took a nap today, old person nap. And while I done that, my wife come in my room and messed it all up. She swept, mopped, and cleaned my table off. That burn it. I can't find nothing now.
Oh, I just blinded myself. No, it didn't fall there. I don't know. I'll be all day looking for it tomorrow.
Connie Carlo,
sitting somewhere else.
Connie Carlo, that happened to me when I was about 5 years old. Took all the skin off the top. She says she got a foot hurt when her mother was riding her on the bicycle. Her foot got caught in the spokes.
Yeah, my cucumbers, which I did a short today on the cucumbers, the birds pecked them all out.
Really?
So the ones, because I made seedlings of my cucumbers upstairs, and they were really nice. Took them out there, planted them, came out the next day, and all of them pecked out. So I went and got my rubber snakes and put in there, and then replanted them just by seeds. So yeah, the Dollar Tree snakes work really good for spooking birds away.
Were they regular birds or were they crows?
No, there ain't much crows around here anymore.
Okay. Well, I tell you, if you want to see some, let me know. We got them down here, big guy. Like
Jeff,
I said,
this is what the town's named for. It's our nickname is Crowtown.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we have to shoot a cannon off. Well, we did. I don't know where they're all went to, but we 3 times a week they would shoot a cannon off to shoo the birds away.
Well, now I got a little short up. I forget what month it was in. Hello, Carol Z. And my trees, that's in front of my house. Every one of them trees were slam packed full of blackbirds, crows. And I'm
They
hard
were,
to hear and begin with. Just ask the wife. She'll tell you. And right. I can't even hardly hear the TV. And it goes up to 100. And I'm sitting here at 60 on that thing. So I can hear my TV over the crows.
What I was talking about with the garden, or in your animals too, for that fact. I mean, sometimes a lot of people build these contraptions that they can feed their animals for a whole week, and they have a watering system that refills and all that fancy stuff. But the fact is that you're away from them animals for a whole week, and you don't know, like, if there's so many times I see somebody reach in to get eggs under a hen and they get bit by a snake. It's because that's a food source. Those snakes will sit under a chicken and eat, and they're nice and warm, and they get free eggs all the time. And then all of a sudden, here comes a human putting their hand under there. It's happened before, but in other words, what I'm trying to get to is a daily task of walking over and checking out your animals, going through the garden, and while you are doing this, there's other things that you can do while you're out there. You can walk your property line. I know some people have a lot of property and stuff, but you can still walk around the edges of your house to where you're living and stuff like that, and see if you see anything that's out of whack, or something's different. You see something that you usually don't see. And check your garage doors and your windows and things like that. Do security checks around inside your house, like check the windows and little things like that.
Now, Autumn Leaf said, posted, I love my cat. Heard something beat against the front door this morning. It was my cat killing the copperhead. The copperhead's dead. A cat will do that. So will a chicken. A rooster. A rooster will tear a snake all to pieces.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And something, it's very important because, like for me, my cucumbers, which I'm having a hard time now, is because I only planted very little, but they went plumb nuts. I'll go in and look and see if there's a cucumber, because if a cucumber gets too big and it starts to turn to seed, the whole plant will die. It's the process of pickles or cucumbers. Once a cucumber gets to where it turns to seed, the plant goes, oh, we're done here, and then it dies off.
Yeah.
So you have to be on top of it if you want a bunch of cucumbers or pickles.
Grace Johnson, yes, copperheads are poisonous.
Yeah. And what my grandpa always told me, if you're walking in the woods and you smell cucumbers, look around, because there's a copperhead around you or in that area. And I thought, oh, he's full of crap. He's just making jokes and stuff. But I was walking alongside a creek one time, and oh, I smell cucumbers, and there's a copperhead sitting right there. And
Now, let
it's
me tell you,
weirdest thing.
let me say something. If y'all do know a little bit about snakes, if you've got a king snake or a black snake anywhere around your property, leave them alone because they keep all poisonous snakes away. Well, yeah, I'm gonna say it like that.
What is it, a blue racer or something like that down in
Black racer.
Texas has them that will eat rattlesnakes.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a king snake. Is it a black snake with white stripes on it?
I don't know. I think it's more black.
Okay, because now I have seen some around here that's pure jet shiny black, but yet it's got white rings going around.
Yeah,
it, not
yeah.
stripes,
No,
rings.
it's black, but it has white. It has like every
Rings.
once in a while there's a ring around it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I was right not to mess with it.
Yeah, I don't know about the diamonds though. I don't know if they have diamonds on them though. No, yeah, I'm sure there might be some though. I don't know.
Okay, a rat snake and a green snake are non-poisonous.
Yeah, but
I mean,
you still can get sick off of them. Well, not really sick, but well,
yeah.
I guess an infection could make you sick, but because you don't know where that snake's been and what it's been, his mouth's been on. So,
Well, the best rule of thumb is this right here. If you don't know the difference between a venomous and a non-venomous snake, leave it alone.
Yeah, just stay away from it. Anyway.
I mean, I'm not trying to be a smart aleck in that sense there. But first time I saw a rooster attack a snake, I thought the rooster was going to end up passing away. And Daddy told me, he said, "No,
oh no." I've seen a rooster eat a chicken hawk. He tore the crap out of it. He munched it down after he was done. Chickens will whoop up on something, I'll tell you.
Well, what a rooster does is protects his flock. Okay.
Yep. Protects his ladies.
Yeah. That's exactly what he does. Chrissy Cat, the only thing that really bothers me is spiders because they get into places you really can't see and then they'll drop down on you. 9 out of 10 times, if you see a snake before it sees you, then you okay. And my daddy, well, mama did too, would walk up to a snake and say, "You better get on out of here," and the snake would leave. I don't know why. I thought,
that's a good tip right there because you actually bury the head because it's very dangerous to leave that thing just setting somewhere. My grandpa would always cut that thing off because there's no I don't want to say old folks, but people from back in the day, there was no such thing as wasting something. So it got its head cut off. It was buried so that you didn't step on it, or your dog didn't step on it or whatnot, because because all it takes is very little venom to do a lot of damage. And stepping on a head that a poisonous snake's head is just as bad as it being alive.
Yeah.
And then we would eat the rest of the snake.
Now, I've got a couple of red-tailed hawks that fly around, and they help me with the moles out here at the house. Every once in a while, when I kill a snake, I'll toss it out in the field out there. Within 24 hours, the whole snake is gone. Them hawks come down and they get that snake. So, I do it like this, I help them or I feed them and they help me.
Yeah, I ain't never heard of snake wine. You can go ahead and keep that. I don't want no part of drinking anything with a snake. I've ate a snake.
Don't that go back into the Indians? Because I want to say it seems like I've heard of that, but it's when I was a youngin'. And I'm like you, I ain't drinking none of that.
Hey, Peanut, I like that Batman thing you guys had going. That was pretty interesting.
Oh.
Okay, next one it would be, I know it's silly. A lot of us already do this stuff and everything, but when you go, last thing you do before you go to bed, charge your devices. And it doesn't have to be just a cell phone. It could be whatever you need and whatnot.
Rechargeable batteries.
Flashlights, make sure they're all charged. The little power banks and things like that, if you've used them that day. Because when you get up in the morning, you got fully charged, you're ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about it.
Oh, something else. If you got these little LP stoves, make sure you got, well, I'm going to say enough LP to last you a week, to cook on. Like that,
And that was our next one, by the way.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Checking and replenishing your emergency supplies, and that being your fuel. If you, and it depends if it's wintertime, summertime, and stuff like that, because you can't really say, well, it's summertime, I'm going to go ahead and store my kerosene, because fortunately kerosene ain't going to last that long. I'm sorry, but it may work, but it's not going to be very efficient, and it gets stinky.
Well, you're right. I bought kerosene a while back ago during the summer, and come winter time, it had a smell to it. It done went bad.
Yeah,
and now
it's not that it's it could make you sick and stuff. I'm not saying it's poison. It'll poison the air and stuff like that, because I've used older kerosene or number 2 diesel. It's just it's not. You're burning more oil than you are the gasoline part of it, the fuel part of it.
The old kerosene, it's good for starting bonfires or brush fire.
Yeah.
It is definitely not like gasoline. It don't have that spark to it,
because it's got more oil in it.
Yeah,
it's got more. It's not as I don't want to say it's dirtier, but it's just more oil in it. That's why you when you're doing a brush fire or something, you don't use gasoline,
Oh hell
You use
no.
diesel fuel is great because it's got a
Yep.
higher oil content, so it'll burn longer. It doesn't go woof, and then you're done.
The it takes, I don't know exactly how to put this, but in order for it to burn, it's got to be hotter than gas, like that. And yeah, I'm not going. Well, yeah, I'll say it. My son-in-law and my son has used gasoline to start fires, but
Yeah, that's
after
good too.
that, they didn't do that no more.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
just don't
it's
use
it's a
gasoline.
big flash. Yeah.
Yeah, because you can, if you pour gas on a fire and it ignites and you're close to it, you could inhale that fire and it will do a whole lot of damage
Oh yeah.
to your inside.
Yeah, when I say replenish your emergency supplies, it could be your food because I'm still using my preps because
I like.
food prices are expensive and I'm still
Hello, Chris Pratt.
doing that, and also your water supplies. I've noticed everybody and their brother are now drinking bottled water, not just this type of bottled water. Talking about the 5 gallon ones.
Yeah,
We went down there um, to get my 10 gallons of water that I drink a week, and all gone. So I had to resort to these bottled waters, which I'm lucky because Rural King has them for $2.50 for a case of 24,
it ain't bad at all.
which is really cheap.
Ours
But
is about $6 now.
yeah, I don't like using them because it's a lot of plastic being put out in the world. So I rather reuse a bottle over and over again.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, now you
after
do
water supplies, you would go ammunition. Also your meds. Make sure you're always up to date on your meds and your antibiotics that you have in your house. That kind of stuff. Batteries, candles, cleaning stuff, hygiene, all that good stuff that you store back.
Well, now you pointed something out to me. I think it was a couple of years ago. I told you I bet you it was about 50-gallon jugs of water set back. You asked me what type of jugs were they in. I told you they was in old milk jugs.
Mm-hmm.
I would take it and I'd wash it out with Dawn dish detergent. You told me not to do that.
Nope. If you're gonna drink it or have it for your garden, only thing you can use it for is the toilet.
But you see,
I'm sorry to say because the stuff that's that's the milk, it doesn't go away. Even if you wash it out with bleach, there's still traces of the milk in it. And they say don't do that.
But now, from the way I understand it, if you go to a store and you buy a gallon jug of water, then that would be okay to use. But I wouldn't keep refilling it over and over and over again.
Oh, no, because eventually, well, it all depends where it's being stored too. If it gets up above a certain temperature, if it gets
let's say
74 degrees,
okay.
Even these 74 degrees, they can release the plastic stuff, the chemicals.
So that makes you think, this right here. How many people out here, or even in chat, has got a bag in their car and has got a few bottles of water in there that's already been sitting out for a while? After hearing this, would you think about drinking out of that now?
Well, there are some safe plastic, and it's I don't know if I have the box. Oh yeah, here's the box. The box or the ETA thing that I got. I forget what plastic it is, that it can go up to like 180 degrees before, and it doesn't release its stuff. Whatever the plastic thing is that's bad for you. But these things, like I said, the plastic in these, if it goes over 74 degrees, it can release. Doesn't say it will, it can. So the hotter it gets, the more that stuff's going to be leaking into your water.
Well, now, me and you, and I know there's quite a few in chat, was raised, up. When we got something to drink back in the day, it was always in glass. And I've thought,
or stainless steel.
Since they come out with plastic, a lot of people getting sick.
Well, you remember milk? It came in the glass.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I remember. And chocolate milk was the best back then.
I never seen the chocolate. It was always white milk.
Really?
Yeah.
No, man. Now, I'm not crazy on chocolate milk. Okay, straight up.
I don't like milk at all anymore. Unless I got it from a cow. I remember we lived in Oregon somewhere. I can't remember exactly where. No, this was Idaho. Yeah, we were living in Idaho, and right down the road, it's probably about a mile and a half. And I would take had a wagon. I would go down there with a 5-gallon container, which was metal, and go down to the dairy farm. Like, oh man, this place stinks and whatever.
Yeah.
I got real used to that smell because I went down there and he'd fill that thing up, and it was a big stainless steel tank that sat right outside the
oh my god,
where they would do all the milking and stuff. And
it was cold.
He would say, you want a drink? And I would go over there and I'd get milk all over me. But that's some of the it wasn't like that was refrigerated or anything, or I don't know if they had something in there to keep it cold, but it would hurt to drink it, a lot of it, because it was so cold.
Yeah.
But it was the best milk. Oh, and it it wasn't, where they had to heat it up and make sure there was chemicals in it and stuff like that. It was some of the best milk. I still remember that milk better than any milk that I've ever had.
Well, now, grape jams around here where I live, you cannot find milk, chocolate milk, buttermilk, white milk in glass no more, period. They don't sell it.
They have it in Bueller's here, but it's like, it's like $8 for a bottle. That
now, me and you've done had this discussion a time or two. We don't have a Bueller's around here, But now I do remember Piggly Wiggly, yes, the pig. They used to sell it, and I think what was it, a half gallon? Would be something like $6, and that was like 5 years ago. And plus, you had to pay a deposit on the bottle.
yeah, the only thing is it's still milk that's processed and
Yes.
all the other stuff. And I know there's a reason behind, they have to boil it to make sure it's, gets rid of all the bacteria and stuff in there. But if you've ever had milk from a cow, um, it's so much better. And you don't get that thing to where you're, oh, I got to use the bathroom after you drink it.
If y'all if you have not drunk milk straight from a cow, you have no idea what you're missing. I mean, really. And if you go to a dairy farm and you get it out of that stainless steel holding tank they got, that milk is so cold it damn near freeze your teeth.
Oh yeah, it hurt your chest when it's going down if you drink it too much.
That's the best part of the whole thing is how cold it is.
And I can't remember, it was $2-3 or something like that I get charged for that, and then I would hurry up and rush home with the wheelbarrow, which is only a couple miles down the road, a mile or so.
Only a couple miles.
That's not that far.
No, not then it wasn't. But now, for me, I'm lucky if I can walk to the mailbox without having to sit down in the chair. But yeah, plain and simple. I just wish today we could do what we did when we was young, is drink milk, run around barefooted, drink water out of a hose pipe.
Yeah. I seen these farmers, and they raise cows, and they're real affectionate with their livestock. They put they have a big size soccer ball, and they put it out in the field, and the cows do this little number and jump back and forth and kick the ball and hit it with their nose, and they all know their names and everything, and they're loved, and they are getting hammered by people. How do you people do this? And then you're going to go turn around and eat those cows. And I'm like, what do you do to your food before you get it? Do you show it attention at all? Do you thank it for what it's there for? And no, you order it from McDonald's and then you scarf it down, and that's the end of it. Those animals at this farm live a wonderful life of these people taking care of these animals and showing love and respecting that it's an animal and giving it it's the best life, that better than the meat you get at Walmart or whatever. And nobody understands that, and they hammer these people so bad, saying how cruel they are.
I would prefer to get meat from an independent farmer than, like you said, go to McDonald's or somewhere like that. But I really don't want to get into it. But the meat that comes from McDonald's or somewhere like that, I will say this: they are butchered, and an independent farmer, as the cows or the hogs or whatever are being raised from birth till that time, that's their bread and butter. They take darn good care of those animals. They get sick, the vets out there, or the animal is at the vet, and it's like Bushcraft says, those animals are well taken care of. You know.
Okay, and the next part of this, a lot of people are going to not like, but I'm not going to say really working out, but be physically fit. You know, do your work outside, do walks or whatever. Something that, like, if something does happen, you're able to walk out of the area that you're in. It could be like floods, fires, or whatever, to be able to make sure you're fit enough to get away from the danger. I'll put it that way. And a lot of us kind of skip that part. I get so busy sometimes I don't think about, you know, taking a walk or something.
Well, no, that's something me and the wife we need to start doing.
Yeah.
We live on 3 acres. Sorry about that. We live on 3 acres. Okay. And the biggest part is we can make us a track and walk. But my problem is this right here. I don't want to do it. You know, and I know during the summertime, you get out there, you get to walking, you walk a mile, you're going to sweat.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the way our humidity is here. I mean, you can step out the door and it feels like you just got hit with a hose pipe, you know. But
yeah, just make it to where you get up in the morning, instead of having your cup of coffee, say, well, I gotta walk that 3 acres and then come in and get the coffee. And that coffee's going to taste really good after that walk.
you got that right.
And our next one is, even if you're by yourself, you have nobody around or anything, it's good to conduct emergency drills on all situations. When I remember in the 70s and 80s, there was always have a drill, you know. What was his name? McGruff or something like that? Or that was a crime dog, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Somebody would always have like a fire drill. Where do all the kids should know where you go if there's a fire or something. You meet at that one location. And everybody did these drills. And now, you know, schools do it, and it's like, everybody line up and go here. And there's no really purpose in it. It's just, oh, we don't have to do schoolwork. We go outside and sit in the sun for 15 minutes. But there are purposes behind it. And it could be just and depending on what your location is, hurricanes, flooding, you know, bad people coming from other countries, coming into our country trying to do stuff. Have plans set in place. Like, what would you do if you seen a tank rolling up your road where you live? It's not something that you would normally see, but you got to think, oh, what would I do? It's not like you can stop them. You would have to learn, and it would be better to have a set plan in motion before that happened. I mean, like people in Florida, majority of them know when a hurricane comes through, what's their plan, because it happens all the time. But what happens if there's an earthquake in Florida?
And what's going on here lately, that's very well possible.
But it's not saying everybody should plan for an earthquake next week, but what if there's an earthquake? What do they do in California when there's an earthquake? They don't tell you that. In other places, it's because it usually doesn't happen. But that's what preppers do. They prep for stuff that may not happen. Doesn't say it's a bad thing to, have a plan in place.
Well, now, as my youngins were coming up living in the house, we lived in mobile homes, okay? And I've told both of my youngins, if they wake up during the night or at any time and there is a fire in the mobile home, I don't care what you got in that room, a dresser, a chair, or whatever, you knock that window out and you get out. Because back then, it took, I want to say 11 minutes for a mobile home from start to finish to burn down.
They're made to go up like,
yeah.
And it's sad that it's true though. The stuff that they spray on the wood and the insulation, it just goes. Whew.
It will. You don't even have time to get woke up if you're in a dead sleep.
Oh,
I mean, you've got to do this out of reaction or whatever. And if you don't have nothing in there to knock the window out, get the covers off of your bed, wrap yourself up in them covers, jump through the window. You may break a leg, but it would be better to have a broke leg and survive than it would be to burn.
Well, and some people may think this is bad or anything, but we had extra windows that were in the basement. I don't know where they came from or anything like that. And
sorry, Dana.
I had them set up, and I told my kids, and they didn't use their hands or anything. They had a bat, and I told them to bust this out to where you can get through it. And then I would stop them if they were doing something wrong or whatnot. And I showed them you don't go like this or anything. I showed them you poke through like that, and they were the pane windows like the old houses, because that's what we have here. I think they're called 9 panes.
3, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. You sure it wasn't 8 or 4 pane?
No, it was 9. It's 3, 3, and 3. Yeah.
Okay.
And it had the wood in between. They break out the window, and they said, "We can't. You can't get out that way." And I said, "Exactly." And I showed them how to get out, and each one of them did the same thing.
Yeah.
And so they would know. And they said, "Well, this is a lot harder than it looks. It's glass. It should be really easy." And I said, it seems that way, but especially those 9 panes, because there's wood holding those panes of glass in there.
Yeah, there is.
And if you just try to break out the windows, you're going to be there all day. You have to hit that wood in the cross member places, and it'll all push out. And that's what kind of windows we had in here.
Well,
were those old 9 pane windows.
I think we all did, but now, well, let me back up. Back then, they were single windows, just one. Now you've got 2 and 3 windows. I mean, 2 and 3
panes.
Glass.
Yeah, the pane glass.
But just do drills. Go through it, but don't break the glass. But it don't hurt.
No. always have a meeting point on different things. At the fire, you meet, to where, firemen and all that stuff sees you and whatnot.
Yeah.
You don't hide in a vehicle or something like that because it's close enough that can be flammable too.
Oh, well, yeah, you're right.
Have a set communications set up with your family. If you
Hello.
get separated, you call this person or you keep in contact or whatever.
Hello, Sassy Cat. And while y'all doing this, y'all doing drills and everything, have a meeting place somewhere in the yard, up underneath the oak. I know you just said that.
Well, other ways too is if you have, upstairs, downstairs, if your parents are downstairs, parents have to go way up the stairs and get everybody down. Or I used to do drills like if there's I would set our bucket, our mop bucket used to be red, and I said, well, this is where the fire is. How do you get out to get to your meeting place?
Done it again.
They would, we have to go out the window, or if it was upstairs, we have to climb down the ladder because I had ladders, the little rope ladders to get down. Things like that.
Thank you.
And because a fire is not going to be at one place every time, like they do the fire drills at school and stuff.
A fire is a monster.
Thank you, Eric, for becoming a member. I appreciate it.
A fire is a monster. It will climb a wall. It will go in between walls. It climbs, like that. And it's fast. And if you do live in a 2-story house and you got kids, go buy you a ladder to throw out the window. Teach them kids how to use it.
There's safe ways of doing it. It's not like shoving your kids out the window and tell them get down.
Me, I lived in a house in Lexington, North Carolina. We had an antenna pole that went up the side of my bedroom,
Oh, so we know how he got out every night to go play with his friends.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say that part, but you're right.
Yeah. Well, I like the older kids. They were in charge of making sure, the younger ones would get down or whatnot.
Yeah.
Of course, I would be up there anyway, but if in case I couldn't, that's their job, is to get them out of the house, whichever way was the safest.
But you bet your sweet bottom dollar, I would do my best to get up there to get them out. Even if I had to run outside and find me a way to get up there, I would do it.
Yeah.
So, but
always make sure that you have some supplies in your car in case they all go up in smoke in your house. At least you have something.
Have a change of clothes in there.
A little bit more than that. I would.
Yeah, I know that, but 90% of the people, when they coming out of a fire and you see them on the news or something like that, they in their PJs,
And there's these little things called flash drives. You can put all your information, all your pictures nowadays are digital. You can put all your legal documents, copies of them, to where you can have your IDs and all that stuff. Because if you lose all that stuff, it is so hard to get replacements and stuff for that. And just having that thing on your keychain or having it in your vehicle hidden somewhere or whatnot. It's a lifesaver.
Did you read what Ginger Ninja posted?
Yeah, that's mainly how people die in fires. It's not the fire doesn't get them, it's the lack of oxygen.
The smoke. That's why they tell you to get down on your hands and knees.
Because all this stuff that's in your house burning up, it's all chemicals. And it's not so much like the wood burning and stuff. It's all the carpets, the curtains, and all that
Paint.
Yeah, all that stuff. That's why they wear gas masks when the firemen go in, because it's not because they can't breathe through the smoke. It's the chemicals. That's why they have all this gear on them so that it doesn't leak into their skin too.
Yeah. 99% of the time, smoke inhalation will get you before the fire.
Oh yeah. And I seen Watt was talking about he never been in a earthquake. I was in probably one of the biggest ones in '89.
You talking about when they postponed the World Series?
It was during.
Yeah.
Because I was there during that, because I was selling hot dogs and stuff and Cokes.
Now, wait a minute. Ain't that when the interstate collapsed?
Yeah.
On car? That was.
And that's why I despise, I don't like that dude, the Boomer guy that does all the sports reporting and stuff, because the way he acted during people are, hurt and stuff, and didn't want to help them, and he was getting the guy to, because he wanted to report on it, and the cameraman was hurt, and he was saying, you still got one leg, you can get up there and film this, we can't miss this. And I was sitting there watching this when I'm sitting there helping people out of the stadium and stuff, and he's just in the way, and people are trying to get through, and a bad human.
Yeah. Carol Z posted, and I agree with this 100%. You also, not only smoke detectors, you need a carbon monoxide detector.
Yeah.
In the house,
and they're cheap now, so it's and disposable at that too. I remember I was up for like, I don't know, 4 days straight helping down there. And that's when they asked for people to help. And because we came up from Arizona to work in the stadium and sell, because we was going to make a buttload of money for the series and stuff. Because we went up there for that. We went to the Rose Bowl and did that and worked in the stadium. But when that hit, I really didn't think it was that bad until we went out of the stadium and seen how really bad it was. I ended up staying up there, and they came got me a week later, because I stayed there and helped. I didn't go to the overpasses and stuff. That was strictly, only first responders and stuff. But we helped people out of the houses and set up tents and things like that. That was awful.
Exactly, Ginger Ninja, but I couldn't do that. She said like a canary, like they used to use back in the coal mines. You know,
Oh,
you can use small
yeah.
birds. But, you know, I mean, it's a lot of it's common sense. It really is. And then again, a
Mhm.
lot of it is people just don't know. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it ain't that we making fun of nobody or nothing like that. We want y'all to know these things. You know, maybe one day it will help y'all somewhere along the line.
Yeah. So many times it's oh, there's oh, I'm a prepper. I have all this food and stuff. But what if that food's not there? What do you do from there?
That's a different scenario. I don't even want to go there.
Yeah, it was in. I was in Oakland. I was on the Oakland side during the. I was in the stadium whenever they showed it. Uh, it was during the World Series thing because yeah, that's
Mm.
where we was working. We had a um, motel. Uh, I would say probably about 6 miles from there. We went back to the motel and it was gone. It was flat as a
Really?
pancake. Yeah, and it wasn't like a 2-story, 3-story. It was a regular old motel, and it was all down.
Well, I'm gonna change the subject here for a little bit. You know, I've heard what they call preppers say. You know, you go to the grocery store, you buy a little bit more than what other people think you should buy. Then they start hollering, "You a prepper? You a prepper?" Bushcraft has stated this time and time again, and he's not the only one. After I heard him say this, I don't care who you are, some way, somehow, you are a form of a prepper. Okay. You go to the grocery store, you buy groceries. Let's just say it's for your family for a week. You got a tank full of gas in your car. You on LP gas, you keep it full. You know, or whatever. You know, even our great, great, great grandfathers and grandmothers were preppers, some way or another.
It,
Everybody
it
preps,
was that wasn't really a prepper. That was life
survival. That was
because
survival.
yeah,
Well,
they
now,
didn't have a grocery store to go to. Well,
no,
eventually they did, but you didn't go to the grocery store to get a loaf of bread or anything. You
you made
you
your
may have
own.
went to get flour and stuff, but the fact that when you grew food, it wasn't to have vegetables during the summertime. It was to store that stuff during the wintertime.
Yeah,
That because it would last you, it would have to last you all year. And what happens, just like we do as far gardeners, you have a bad year. Well, we can go to the grocery store. Back then, they couldn't do that. They had to come up with other means to feed their families.
exactly, Nut House. That's another form of prepping. People who save money.
Oh
Why
yeah,
do you save money? For unexpected bills, and in case something happens, you got to leave.
mhm. Yeah. Water heater goes out, and car dies. Or
Yeah, I mean,
there's, and it's not like oh we're waiting for the doomsday thing to happen. It's
no.
life stuff happens.
What it is, a prepper or a survivalist or somebody like that, we prepare for the worst, but we always hope for the best. Hope we don't never have to use it. But, and I reckon it was a few years ago when my daddy was still alive. I asked him a question. I said, how did y'all keep meat from going bad when y'all did not have refrigerators? He said it was two things, two ways. Now, you got to remember, my daddy was a mountain person, all right? They would, and right now I can't think the correct term, they would salt their meats down and leave them hanging. Let's say a ham. If they want a ham for supper, they'd go out to the barn and cut off a slice and bring it back. Or Daddy told me, he said, up in the mountains, and if y'all never been swimming in a mountain stream, you're in for a surprise. It stays cool or cold, one of the two. Daddy said he would take a shovel down to the river, and inside the bank, he would kind of like dig out a place and fix it. And then that's where they would set their milk, their butter, stuff that needed to be refrigerated. He said that's how they kept stuff cool back then. He said they didn't have, that was before refrigerators or ice boxes ever came. Yeah, smoked meat, cure or smoked meat,
Yeah.
like it. And I've got to say it, even Native Americans, that's how they done it. Who do you think taught us how to survive? They taught us how to grow plants, grow corn and everything, and what to do after we harvest it. So
Yep, ice houses. I remember getting blocks of ice.
yeah, I do too. I remember being in the back of a car, and Daddy went to the ice house and got a block. And trust me, after he got it, he didn't waste no time getting home either. And my daddy used to deliver blocks of ice to people with ice boxes. I've heard him talk about that a lot.
Huh.
Good evening, Carson. But, stock up on water also. I know we said this at the beginning, but without water, you're not going to survive a week, 3 days. I think that's what it is without water.
Less if you're actually doing stuff.
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
They say normally a gallon of water per person per day. I'm like this right here. I go 2.5 gallons per person per day. All right.
I drink more than that.
Well, a normal person. Okay.
Oh, you're not saying I'm normal?
Hell, I'm not normal. What you talking about? I reckon that's why me and you get along so good, because ain't neither one of us normal. But Grace Johnson stated, watch the waters. You are 100% right. Water has done got to the point, in my opinion, it's starting to get scarce. Even well water is getting polluted. Why? Because all the chemicals that are being dropped on the ground, all of the stuff that farmers spray on their crops, You know, even though you ain't got a river or a stream, trust me, there
Yeah,
are
that's a
rivers.
good thing to. If you have your own property, you should know every little nook and cranny of your property. I know it's a little harder if you've got like 400 or 500 acres or something, but
Yeah.
if I had like a 500 acres or whatever, I'd be out there every day scouting out. Well, today I'm going to go this path, and then tomorrow I'm coming back this way and going that way, and I'd know every little cubby hole of that property.
Hello, Matt.
And if you did find a natural spring, you watch that spring all through summer and see if it goes dry or it keeps producing water.
What is that called? Argentina well, where it's just on top of the ground, or more or
No,
less. I mean, water just seeping out of the ground constantly.
nah, it's just a spring. I don't know what they call them, but the Argentina thing is, I think that's certain. I might have a telemarketer call me.
Nut house, head nut. County morgue. No, I can't say that. Okay. But I mean, oh, something else too. I'm surprised Bushcraft ain't said nothing about this. Get you a book on how to survive, how-to books. Okay, case for anything. I know what I'm wanting to say, but it ain't coming out. You know, just get a how-to book. That'll help you out a lot.
Some of the best books. I've got a really old book that has so much cool stuff in there. How they done stuff back in the olden days. What they thought was the olden days, but for now it's way far away. But some of the stuff that they used to do, and I've learned a lot. You know, because it's how to make. Where to store your food and how you store your food and cellars and things. Like when storing potatoes, there's ways of storing potatoes that is different than storing carrots and things.
Oh yeah, Connie, I didn't know you had a YouTube page. I'm gonna have to check it out. But
Well, everybody has a YouTube. That's how they chat.
But if y'all remember back in the Western days, for say, they had cellars back then. You know, that's where they put their stuff at. It would last.
I know a lot of people still have them.
Not around here, they don't. Hell, they don't even have a basement. You can't even get a house built with a basement no more. Yeah, great jams. Me and the wife was talking the other day, and I kind of miss the RC colas, you know, back in the day. And I went to the pig, walking down the aisle. Guess what I saw? A very cold bottle RC cola. I left my buggy there, went and paid for it, went back, and I'm drinking that throughout the store. And it's just as good now out of that glass bottle as I can remember. And cherry wine, oh my goodness. You give me a cherry wine and a glass bottle, I'll put my glass of tea down.
It's still not the same as it used to be, though.
Well, that's true, but it's got a better taste in a glass bottle compared to a plastic bottle,
Oh yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And Hispanic Coca-Cola or a Mexican Coca-Cola, oh my goodness, that's made with real sugar. You
Yeah,
talk
I used to like getting
good.
I'd buy with 50 cents. I'd get a Coke and a bag of peanuts, and then I'd dump the peanuts inside the Coke.
Man, how many times I've done that. Or get you a RC Cola and a moon pie. You know,
I was never a fan of the moon pie too much.
I ain't now. Them damn things about as hard as a brick. Or better yet, go get you a Coca-Cola and a pack of nabs. That used to be what I ate for lunch. A pack
Nabs.
of nabs and a can of Vienna sausage weenies. Okay.
What's a nab?
If you don't know what a nab is,
No.
hang on. Let me see if I got some here. I don't know if I do or not. Damn. No, I don't. There, you go to the store, they little packs of crackers. I think there is 6 crackers to a pack. It could be cheese, peanut butter. It could be whatever.
Yeah, I'm not. So it's just peanut butter and crackers, cheese crackers.
No, it's a little bit more to it than that. It's got. I tell you what. I'll go to Dollar General between now and Thursday, and I'll buy a pack of nabs, and I'll show you what they are. But I mean, you got your round nabs, you got your square nabs, and they are pretty good. Y'all may call them something else up there.
Yeah, see, cheese peanut butter crackers. Them little Keebler dudes, the Keebler crackers. And they have some of them are cheese crackers with peanut butter, and some of them are crackers with just cheese in them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never heard them called nabs though.
Oh shit! Down here in the South, yeah. Orange Crush. How about knee highs? Does anybody remember the knee highs drinks?
Okay, I seen it's an old antique looking sign now.
Mm-hmm.
Buy a nab. 5 cents.
God,
They have a variety pack, but it says it's Lance.
Okay, now that's number one around here are Lances.
Okay. Well, here's a really old one. 1964. Uh-oh. Yeah. Might be going off here.
Really?
Yeah. It's flickering. The lights are flickering.
Uh-oh. Well, now I can't keep you up until you come back if that's the case.
Yeah, I'll have to.
Now back
I don't
then,
even have it on my phone.
Now back then, the Great Knee Highs, the Orange Crush, like that, coming up, they were the best.
Oh,
Plain and simple. They ain't like what they are now.
yeah, they actually used flavors instead of colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I could sit there and I could drink damn near, a 6-pack of 16-ounce bottles of knee highs or grapes or something like that. Now I can't even drink a full one bottle because it's got a nasty taste to it, especially the orange.
Oh yeah. And they use the stuff that makes you thirstier. They put stuff in it that makes you thirsty. So when you get done drinking, it's like, oh, I'm thirsty. What am I going to drink now?
That's like Diet Coca-Colas. They put stuff in it so you can keep drinking it, but man, that used to get me. Somebody go to, let's say, Burger King and get 2 or 3 Whoppers and
get a bunch of Whoppers and Diet Coke.
Yeah, I'm sitting there thinking, really? And you wondering why you ain't losing weight?
Oh, them old 2-liter glass bottles are worth something. I know that.
I think when they come out, I want to say, I may be wrong, the return deposit on those was 20 cents.
Yeah, 25 cents. Yeah.
To where the 16 ounces, I want to say 5 cents. So there's a store, he's not in business no more. I don't know why. I was a school kid. Hell, I was about 3rd grade, okay? Daddy would send me to the store to buy him cigarettes or, something like that. And the man would always cheat me.
Wonder why he's not in business.
Well, just wait a minute. I know one of the reasons. There was a couple of boys walking down the sidewalk and the gate was unlocked to the back of the store. And I saw these 2 boys walk in there and they picked up 2 cases of empty bottles, turned around, took them back in the store and got deposits off of them.
I've done that.
Hey, you done that too?
Yeah. I was like, oh, look, there's a whole case of pops or bottles here. And I'm like, oh, I'll just take them right in here and turn them in. Somebody must have forgot to turn them in and go in there, get my money and get all kinds of junk food. And well, not a bunch, but You
remember when you could go down to the store with 50 cents and get a brown paper bag full of candy?
Oh, yeah.
And eat a whole, man, for a youngin', 3rd and 4th grade, hey, that was heaven.
Yeah, I remember I was walking out of the store and I was walking down the street and I heard a ding behind me. I turn around as I was walking away and he's carrying out that case and he puts it down and he looks at it weird. And I'm like, oh. I didn't realize it was his. I'm like, that's probably not a good idea to put that right there.
Well, yeah. That don't know person deserve to be stolen from. Plain and simple.
No, stealing's bad, Jeff. Stealing's bad. We don't intone that on this channel.
Okay. But y'all know what I mean. But for a 3rd and 4th grader, they really don't know.
Yeah, and now the regular candy bars you get are so small and so skinny. The jumbo ones and the extra large or whatever they call them, that was a normal size candy bar back in the day.
What? And that was expensive. I think that was something like 25. Yeah. Now you go in there, if you're lucky to find one, it's going to cost you $2-3.
Yeah.
And do you remember the Milky Way bars? I mean, shit, them things are about 6 to 8 inches long for about a quarter. Now they're about 2 or 3 inches long for almost $2.
Oh, you don't see that anymore. $1.50 for oh, I remember in Phoenix, this was in the 80s, late 80s. 69 cents a gallon for gas,
Oh God.
and they had um 2 hot dogs for $1, and you could go in there and put as much stuff on there as you want. Now
Uh-huh.
I would always put the nacho cheese and the corn dog stuff on top of it, and I would load them up to where it'd be a, a meal and a half.
Well,
They
now,
used to have hamburgers too that you could get really cheap sometimes.
well, now, Dan, well, the city I grew up in, and it was a good hot dog stand when the original owner had it. 3 hot dogs for $1, and they were good. The our cheese dogs. Well, I think 3 cheese dogs was like $1.50, something like that. But the buns would be, let's say, steamed. The cheese would be just about melted. How many people has got a cheese dog from a store now, and the cheese and the buns be cold? The only thing on there that would be warm would be the chili, and it wasn't really warm. I think it was like room temperature now.
Well,
Hello,
now
Lane.
you see those things that they spin around.
Hmm.
It's on rollers and they spin around, and I'm afraid to tell people that because I worked at a gas station, and you lucky those things get cleaned once a week. And they put them hot dogs up there, and they set up there. Some of them hot dogs set up there for
A week or
a
longer.
good while,
Yeah.
and people come in there, and oh, that's the best taste of hot dog ever. I'm like, okay.
Well, I got look. I was setting up satellite systems. I'm talking about like the 10 and 12 foot system, power clips and stuff like that. Me and a friend of mine, a guy I work with, we walked into an old country store, and we were a little bit hungry. We hadn't had breakfast yet. Walked in there and asked him, "You got any ham biscuits?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I'll take one of them," and walked back over there and got me a drink. I asked the guy, I said, "How fresh are these biscuits?" He said, "They fresh." He said, "My wife made them about 3 days ago." I put it back on the damn counter and I said, "Don't charge me for that. I'm not eating it." And he was serious. He wasn't playing around. Hello, Bigfoot.
Hey, Bigfoot.
I don't think we ever did stop at that store again.
Well,
But
in Phoenix, uh, you could go. Well, I lived at the poor end of town. I was down in Van Buren and stuff, but you would see these guys wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and they'd have tamales, and they would make them themselves, and they'd have this little cart they push around, and you could get 2 for $1 or $1 a piece, depending who you. And that some of the best tamales I've ever had, and most of them were pork because I rather have pork tamales than chicken ones because chicken dries out too easy. And some of the best tamales ever came from just a little street vendors. That's all they did
I
was
did.
push those little carts around and sell tamales all day.
The
Or fresh fruit that you put chili powder stuff on it, like mangoes, and they would cut it off to where you just plop off the mango. Oh, good stuff.
Now the town I growed up in, even today, matter of fact, it was about a year ago. There is call them dope trucks or whatever you want, But this guy sets up in one spot, damn near all day long. He sells hot dogs and hamburgers. That's all he sells. He was voted the best hot dogs in that county. And he's out in he's not in the city. He's out in the county. And every time I go past there, I'm wanting to stop and get one. But I bet you there's about 20 plus cars sitting there, people lined up to get it. That's how you can tell if they got good food, is by the line of people that are waiting to get it.
You talk about street tacos, and then that's the thing. Where I grew up, well, I didn't. Where I lived in that area, it was the poorer area, but some of the best food was there too.
Yeah.
I remember when there was a restaurant called Poncho's, and that's where it started. It started down on Van Buren Street in Phoenix, and really, really good Mexican food. But when I went back to Phoenix in the late 90s, they had another one up on Metro area, and we went in there and ate. It wasn't the same. It was just it was like everything else. It just, the food was all pre-made and all that stuff. It wasn't made as good as it was back then.
Well, now Lake Ferry,
it was franchised.
Now, Lake Ferry stated she remembers when A&W root beer was in glass bottles and frosted mugs.
Yeah.
Back then, that's when root beer tasted like root beer. You could taste the root in it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, no, it's like a wimpy drink compared to back then. Probably like a Bud Light. I'm stopping right there.
Yeah, they when they turned into a franchise, it just wasn't good anymore. I mean, when I remember, they used to have a little flag that you raised the flag when you wanted the waitress to come over to bring you some, because it's all you can eat, and you'd order, tostadas, tacos, burritos, whatever, and they bring it out to you and they'd lower your flag. I sat down and ate so much they took my flag away.
Now,
you have to go now. You eat too much.
Now, back in the day when I was living with my parents, when we'd go out to eat, it would have to be an all-you-could-eat buffet. Okay, and there was a fish house in the city that I live in now, and I bet you got 3 platters of fish, like that. And the woman, her husband was blind, and believe it or not, he took the money. He was the done the cash register. And the woman was so tickled to death at me and my brother of how much we ate. They lost money on us.
Yeah, autumn leaf. I asked for up here, and it's very strange because the people in the Mexican restaurant are, they're Mexicans. I asked for sopapillas, And I said, "You mean the dessert?" And I said, "No, it's a bread. I just mean you can put honey on it, but it's a bread that you deep fry and it puffs up." And they went back and they asked I guess the cook or something back there. No, yeah, we can make them. And I'm like, that's really weird to me because it's a normal thing out west.
I never heard of one.
It's basically a little. You put it in the oil and it puffs up, and you can tear a corner off and you can pour honey in there if you want. But it's
About
really
like,
good to eat when you're eating Mexican food because sometimes you run into hot stuff.
about like Indian fried bread, something
And
like that.
not really, because
Oh, okay,
fried bread doesn't have an air pocket in it. It's more crispier.
I got you. Well, you leave it in the grease long enough, it can become
And
real crispy.
and there was a couple other things. Chili Riono. I asked them about that, and they didn't know what that was either. What? I don't know where they were from or anything, but they didn't.
What
It was weird.
the weirdest thing that got me, and it's before me and the wife even met or whatever. We went to a restaurant. It was a Mexican restaurant, but not one Mexican worked in there. They was all Chinese people. And we kind of got to making fun of Chinese owned Mexican restaurant on American soil. Now, that can only happen in America.
Yeah.
And that was what, mid late 70s. But, they had good food. Don't get me wrong. You still there? I think you got a phone call.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh.
Oh.
We have got
that's like chorizo. You trying, and I'm in Ohio, and trying to get chorizo up here like it was when I was in Arizona. I've had I pretty much just gave up because the definition of it here is it's sausage with a bunch of chili powder, and that's it. And it's not the same. And I ended up just getting sausage, unseasoned sausage, and which is ground pork, and just making my own if I want, real chorizo.
Well, now down here, there, oh God, what, 8, 9 years ago, there was a Mexican restaurant on the corner of where Walmart is, and we'd walk down there and get something to eat. They had the best food here for this little town. And I quit going and found out that management changed hands. So me and the wife, we said, let's go check out the food, see how good it is and everything. That was the worst food I think I tasted. And we didn't go back in there for a long time. And my son and his wife now took us back down there. And we got to asking around. The original owners came back because they was losing money. And their food had got to be good again.
Well, it's weird that they almost would have to fire the cook, because usually the workers go with whoever takes over the ownership.
Right.
Unless they say, well, we're going to start saving money. Instead of using this, you're going to use that. And that's usually where it goes. Their food goes bad.
Exactly. You know, a restaurant that opens up, they got good food for 6 months. Then after that, they change the meat and everything like that, and they go up on the prices, and it ain't as good as it used to be.
Yeah. There's a lot of places like that. Stuff. Because I remember when Jack in the Box used to be good, but every time I hear it's like worse than McDonald's, and that's pretty bad. But I know there are some people that still, McDonald's fries are the best, and I'm like,
No, they ain't neither.
I'm like, they're so tiny. It's like the scraps of everybody. All the other restaurants gave them the scraps of their fries.
Exactly. Now, look, to me, who's got the best fries around now, and they hot. I mean, they will burn your mouth, is Wendy's. Wendy's has got some of the best fries around.
They do have better salt because they use sea salt.
But there was I was standing inside of McDonald's one day, and Hardee's has got good food.
No,
don't get me wrong. Hardee's, I never heard of them.
That's the roast beef and stuff.
Arby's.
They have the curly fries and stuff. Now, I went to Kentucky Fried Chicken, and theirs was really good because our Kentucky Fried Chicken was really bad for a while, and that nobody would eat there. And then they got new management and stuff, and now their food is actually edible.
I know KFC down here. Gee, a ran over dead chicken tastes better than what they got.
And well, their fries are actually they got batter. They're like batter dipped fries.
I never tried them.
They're just their regular fries. That's how they do them. And I'm like, wow, these are really good.
Huh.
Hardee's. We made the mistake of going to Hardee's last time, and it's like they dropped the salt shaker in the fries. It's like, ooh.
Well, now
every time you eat a fry, you had a drink.
Yeah. Now I was standing inside of McDonald's one day, and one of the workers back there, she said she was talking to another worker. Said, "I hate it when they do that." Woman said, "You hate it when what?" "I want no salt French fries." So therefore, they got to cook a whole nother batch.
Yep, that's the way to get fresh fries.
Yeah, and then they say, "I like to have some salt with that." That's what ticked her off. And I spoke up and I said, "Well, if y'all quit serving cold ass French fries, it wouldn't happen." She didn't like that.
We'll see you in a bit. I'm getting ready to jump off here. I want to make sure I go to close enough to send everybody over there to the Vineyard Chicks tonight so everybody can hang out over there.
Yeah, my wife fell in love with the Ninja Chicks. When they come on.
Vineyard Chicks, not Ninja Chicks.
You say it your way, I say it my way. But when she knows they on, she got the TV on right there. Read what Ginger Ninja posted. I heard something about that a while back ago. KFC admitted Yeah, that's it. Started 3D printing their chicken a few years back.
I don't know about that.
That's what's wrong with their chicken. It ain't chicken. It's rubberized meat. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to tell the wife, vineyard chicks are coming on. Yeah. Wait a minute.
Oh yeah, I like my own fries.
Let me back.
Even if you use an air fryer, they're still better than the fries you get at the fast food places.
Grape jam. Grape jams. My wife loved it the other night when your husband was on there along with the chicks. She sat here and laughed. Craig coming on at 10.
Yeah.
So,
but as far as
it's probably a good thing to go ahead and end it now. That way, people.
As far as Wednesday, I still don't know.
You break it up.
It's not me, Jeff. As far as Wednesday, I'm not sure if I have a guest yet or not because I haven't heard back yet. One of them is, like I said, the true crime channel. The other one is another ghost and Bigfoot and alien type channel. They are huge, and I'm still waiting to get confirmation back from them. They work a lot, so we'll have to see. Yeah.
What life really?
We got all the traps set for slugs. I hope it works. They're good at that. Just make it so it's easier for them to go into the beer. I hope if that's what you're using to get rid of the slugs. And you have to change it when it rains and whatnot. Because I've seen people put it out there and it rains and why aren't the slugs going in my beer? And because it's watered down. And you have to watch using Bud Light. You might get something in there that you don't want. If that's what kind of
beer I see a damn slug. That's probably the only thing that's really good to catch. A gay slug.
Okay, everybody's singing.
Fish don't fry in the kitchen.
80s.
Oh yeah,
what was it?
Jimmy Walker.
The Jeffersons. Yeah,
I thought is it Jeffersons or Good Time? Yeah, you're right, Jeffersons.
Yeah.
God, can you imagine the Jeffersons being on this day? Or Maud or Archie Bunker? Man, people be having a cow over there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and drop a link for Vineyard Chicks. That way everybody can go over and
tell them Bushy Bear sent you.
Come on. I have to click on the thing first.
Carol Z, Prepping 101 is doing pretty good. He's just needing a little time to rest up right now. The man is wore slap out.
Yeah, like he said, he won't be coming back until after he gets a truck done. So that's at least middle of July. I wouldn't start looking for him until then.
Yeah. Go say hello to Ninja Chicks. Really? I never did say Ninja Chicks.
You did too.
Did I?
Yeah. That's what I told you. I said, it's not Ninja. It's Ninja Chicks.
I don't remember saying it. Okay. Oh, well. Peace, love, and bacon grease.
There you go. Just head over to the Vineyard Chicks and tell them Jeff is calling the girls ninjas.
You know what? Don't tell them that. They liable to pay me a visit with their billy clubs. Wife would hand them the pink duct tape, though. Probably tar and feather too.
Okay, if you don't see me Wednesday, I'll be over on Jeff's on Thursday.
Yep. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
After Vineyard Chicks, Craig is going live, and after Craig, it's Tin, and I'll go ahead and leave you guys with Tin's little ad.
Out.
But you know what, Tin? Let's do this. Oh wow, look at that. Look at that. Oh,
Somebody put some detail into this. I like it. Noah, you guys are watching. And remember, this is for entertainment purposes only, no professional shit, you know. I don't know if there's spaceships, but I think I see a whole another planetary celestial body out there, like planets and moons, because I see small balls and little bigger balls, and I see balls.